I have built the internet. That is right, the internet, in one compact little box, and it has a red button. Okay, so please don't click away. I promise there's a point to this. A couple of years ago, I saw on, I think it was Reddit or Twitter, and it was a post about the internet box. And I had thought it was funny as heck back then, just because the absurdity of it, right? You have a black box and a blinking light, and that's the internet. And anyway, I didn't know where it was from. And so this year I saw it. This week, sorry, I saw it again, and I decided to look it up. It actually comes from a TV series called The IT Crowd. I'm not really a fan of the series, but I did think that this idea was kind of funny. The idea behind it was that they were trying to get their new manager fired, and they tried to pitch this idea of her holding in her hand the entire global internet, and she was supposed to bring that to a presentation and present that to whoever. And I just thought it was funny because I could immediately tell it was just basically a black box with a flashing light. So, but in this video, we're going to go over a little bit on. I'm going to go over, first of all, what how do you get a flashing light, first of all. So I'm going to kind of go over the innards of, if at least my solution to the problem. And then I'm going to go through just some issues that I've had with the 3D printing portion of it, because that's been a process too. This project was supposed to be take no more than an hour or two, and it ended up taking like 3 days because I was having problems with my printer. But anyway, I wanted to show this to you anyway. I thought it was fun, so let's get into it. So this is the website that I saw last week, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. The guy's website is thisiswhyimbroke.com. Um, so he has the internet box here, which is basically just a flashing light, like I was saying. I added the red button as a kind of enhancing touch. The project box itself, you can get them pretty cheap online. I didn't have any available, so I tried to 3D print mine. It also shows you the episode that goes along with it, so you have an idea of what I'm kind of talking about. So he introduces Jen to the internet. Um, I'll link the video in the actual comments. Anyway, the guy selling this for, well, on the website it shows $55. Now, when I click on it, it comes up to $100 on Etsy. The item is sold out. I really hope that this is just kind of a gag kind of post, but I'm not really sure. Let's just see here. It includes an internal switch so you can turn off the internet, and a holographic circuit board sticker. Oh, this might actually be a real product. I'm not endorsing this product, by the way. I just think it's funny. The elders of the internet has approved my purchase. Thanks again. All right, so at the heart of this project is a basic 555 timer. Now, this timer is known pretty well in the electronics community. It's certainly not new, made in 1971. And it has the capability of operating in a few different types of modes. What we're using is the astable free running mode, and I'll explain how that works here in a moment. You also have monostable mode, where basically an event happens or a pulse happens, and then basically it'll act in a specific way. It's like the good idea here is bounce free switches, touch switches. So it'll activate an output based on a single input. Bistable latch. So if you push a button, it'll stay latched. And then Schmidt trigger. I don't think I've ever used that one. So it converts a noisy input into a clean output. I'll have to remember that. So I'll link the web page here. It's got quite a detailed explanation of it. It's just a Wikipedia page for it. They're very rudimentary type of switch or type of chips. They're basically used as flip flops in a way. Okay, so I'll explain how I'm using it for this project. All right, so I'm going to try to keep this example or this explanation simple. I want to have a second channel where I go through all the technical bits. So that way, when I present a project, you have the option of listening in on the math portion of it and the technical explanation. But the idea for this circuit is it's pretty simple. So I'm just going to kind of go with an analogy that I have here, which is a basic water tank. So you have a basic water tank. You have a float that's attached to a switch. You have an inlet valve that allows water to flow into the tank. You have an outlet valve that allows water to flow out of the tank. So while the tank is empty and this float is in the downward position, water is allowed to flow into the tank. Okay? And when the tank is filling, it'll eventually cause this float to come up. Oh, there we go. Float comes up. It activates the switch. This valve is turned off, and now this valve is turned on so water can flow out. So in this particular circuit, it's the same type of thing. Your water tank in this case is your capacitor, and your valves are considered to be your LEDs. So which is the flashing light that you see, the LED. So basically, what that means, under one position, the light is going to be turned on, and the other position in the light can be turned off. Now, if you're wondering, I could have an LED here, and I could have an LED here. Okay, so that's the sign for LEDs. I'm a horrible drawer. I said I was a horrible drawer. I got to get better at that. Okay, so you have LEDs. Technically, you could have two LEDs, and it would do the police wigwag type of thing. So red, blue, red, blue. You could do that too. So basically, what I have though is I only have the one LED going, so it looks like it's just blinking on and off. What would happen if you had two would be like on, off. Anyway, self-explanatory. So if I come over to the circuit here, I ran out of red LEDs, so you end up getting a green one for this internet. You have your light emitting diode right here. You have your capacitor. This is your water tank that keeps filling and draining. Current limiting resistor. And you have this little potentiometer over here as part of the circuit. And this allows you to increase the water pressure that's coming into the tank or decreasing it. So as I go through, the light is blinking at a certain pace. As I turn the potentiometer, the tank fills and empties at a faster pace. So capacitor charges and discharges faster. So it's a kind of a neat idea, and these circuits have been around forever, like I was saying. I'm curious to know if a police car would have actually used something like this, because it was a simple back and forth motion, right? So yeah, you never really know, right? So the next question probably would be, what's with the red button? I had an idea for the red button. It might end up being a part two type of video, or I might just end up leaving it. The idea was supposed to be that you push the red button and the light just turns off, so it doesn't blink anymore. Okay, but like that would have been very simple for me to do, just to short out the with using the water analogy, making it so the capacitor doesn't charge or discharge. It would have been really, really simple to do. But I made the enclosure using PLA material, and I'm still having issues with my 3D printer. It's quite a rough print. I have a Cricut, so I ended up doing the vinyl on the box. Um, anyway, it was just a very crude project. I thought it was fun at the time. I only expected it to take a couple of days or a couple of hours. Sorry, it ended up taking a couple of days. But hey, whatever. For you guys, it's fun. All right, so that's it. That's all I have for you right now. I hope you guys have a great day.